Good morning, Rachel. Ritual lesson number 2. We're going to talk about that swing feel. Where's that? There it is. First thing is a technique principle. Yesterday we talked about getting your hand to do that kind of whipping motion. And we didn't go much past that. Another part of that is letting the stick bounce back up off the snare. Now there's a lot to this. There's, the relationship between your hand and the stick. There's a relationship between the stick and the snare, or the stick and the cymbal. Just like your kick, when you're working on your foot technique, you have the actual tension of the pedal. You have the distance between the beater and the actual head. You have the tension of the head. There's a lot of things that come into play when you're working on these technique things. So this doesn't have to be complicated though. But today I want to talk about that rebound hit, because it's going to come into play a lot more with that. Well, it's going to come into play a lot in life. So when you do that whipping action, naturally let the stick bounce back up, because this is just, naturally as you're going back and forth like this, you don't want to be doing all the work of putting the stick down and picking it up, putting it down and picking it up, we want to let that rebound be really natural and really controlled. So as you're letting your hand do that whip, let it bounce back up naturally. Now when we're talking about that swing feel, here's a technique that's going to really help with that as well. Now remember, when you're holding the stick, find that fulcrum point, the middle of your drumstick, kind of like the middle of a teeter-totter. Let that stick rest in between that, just right in that second little knuckle of your pointer finger or your trigger finger, whatever you want to call it. Let the thumb go, just basically point down the stick like that. And so they're kind of making a perpendicular angle with that grip. Now your grip is really loose. It's probably what you're used to, is kind of holding onto the stick pretty tight. And we're going to change that technique so that you can get a lot more free, natural, easy movement, do a lot less work while you're getting your, a lot more controlled sound at the same time. So what you used to do is rugby. What we're shooting for is ballet. So I'm going to see some ballerina tricks when you're on Tuesday next time. So wear your little toe shoes to practice. But the technique that we're going to work on is, we're just building on the last video. It's the same thing. All I'm going to bring into play more is these 3 fingers. So as that stick, when the stick rebounds off the snare drum, I'm going to use these 3 fingers to pull it back down. And so I just hit it one time, and I got 2 hits out of one. It's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, but it's less mess. So hit, rebound, and then the fingers hit it back down again. Okay, now this comes into play all the time, but it comes into play really a lot more intensely when you're hitting that swing feel, because you're going dun 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 dun. See, you don't even have to really have an instrument to hit. You can pretty much do it all with your hand, and which is really nice, because when you're wanting to do a really light swing feel, like on the ride cymbal, you're not going to have as much rebound. If you want to get a really good rebound, you got to hit it really hard so it can bounce off. But this way, you're controlling the rebound. You're almost making it with your hand, but not entirely. But once again, your wrist is doing most of the work. Your fingers are doing most of the work on the rebound. So just to show you what it's going to be like when you hit again, it'll be hit and rebound, and then your fingers will bring it back down again. So on the phone book, that's kind of what it sounds like. And it gives you that real quick I don't know, when I was a kid, I used to love the Pink Panther cartoon. It's like real old 70s, and it's got that big long cigarette and stuff. But I would, as I grew up and was drumming more, my mind would always go back to that, because I was real familiar with that song as a little kid. And then I would listen to that song and I would remember it, and because it's da dum dum da dum 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 da 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 da. And so that's what I did to help me kind of get that swing feel, because you can go back and listen to it. There's a lot of swing music, big band music. You can get on YouTube, find, B.B. King or something like that. Just find yourself some swing music if you can, so that you can just listen to it. You've got to get that feel really ingrained in your mind. It's very different than what you used to. It sounds easy when you talk about it, but you really have to internalize it. You really have to feel it to really be able to reproduce it and make it sound really natural, like you've really got a handle on it. So if nothing else, get on YouTube, find the intro to the old Pink Panther cartoon, and just listen to that a whole bunch. Practice that. Just play along with da 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 da. So I don't know if I'm going to make one of these every morning or what, but I really hope that you're watching and practicing these things. For Tuesday, I will be satisfied if you get no further than nice, even, quiet, settled 16th notes. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Very, very settled, very controlled. Even if you don't throw in the accents, I would be fine with that. The main thing I'm wanting, the first little baby step I'm wanting you to take is controlling your movements, and just having very, very fine, a lot more subtleties to your drumming, because we're working with Hillsong, so we have to have a very big difference between what's small and what's big, and we have to have very smooth transitions between those, and that's how you build a song with your dynamics. You almost always start out small, and then there's this penultimate moment in the song, and you have to know where that moment is, because you have to present it. So you have to be able to build up to it as the drummer, leading the band to it, because it's going to be a lot more what you do is going to be a lot more dramatic than what anyone else in the band does, because you have more sound to work with. You have more volume. You have more different types of sounds, and you have more volume. So the way that you control your volume really says a lot. And so the first baby step, like I said, is just getting those really controlled, really even 16th notes, and also the hand technique, the whipping kind of feel, and then the fingers, getting those double hits in. So if you have any questions, please call me. Send me a message on Facebook. We can do a Skype lesson if you want to. If you have Skype, you can just set up your drums, and we can basically just do a lesson. Or if you have a couple questions, we can just do that real quick online too. Let me know what you need. We'll figure it out. One thing I do want to say is that you have an incredible opportunity here. You have a band. You have some great musicians who are wanting to really see you excel. I worked with Brent and Juliet for years. I don't know, like 6 or 7 years or something like that. They really, really are good musicians. I have a lot of respect for them as musicians and as worship leaders. So you're really getting, a good opportunity here by, having them basically invest in you and wanting to see you get really good, because you have that potential. You just kind of need to push in the right direction, just like everybody. So, this isn't like you're getting remedial lessons because you're slow or something like that. I don't know. But basically what's going on is there's a lot of people that see somebody who's really good and really got a lot of potential, and they want to see that really grown and shaped into what it can be. Another thing that's really awesome is that I was 19 before I started really doing worship, and that really changed my life and changed the way that I play the drums. And so I think it's really awesome that you're getting into that early. You're definitely further along than I was when I was your age, so that's really cool. And I can really relate to you, so it's easy for me to look back and see what you're doing and, kind of what you're going through and be able to help you. So hopefully by the time you're my age, which I will not disclose, you'll be a lot better than I am now. So that's what I'm shooting for. Also, when you're playing worship on the drums, you have the ability to just basically volume-wise blow everybody, out of the water. You also have the ability to, as the Spirit leads, very sensitively lead your band into some really incredible worship. And so, since the Lord has given you a gift, and you are already working towards, giving that back to Him in your worship, that's another part of you that I want to nurture, since that's what I do also. Hold on, my son's calling. Wait. Okay, he's okay. And so, if you have any questions regarding drumming, working in worship, things like that, really be thinking about what you're doing. And, let me know if there's anything else that I can help you out with it. Even if it's not like just a straight up, like, how do I play this song kind of thing. If it's more of movement of the song, or, I don't know. Basically what I'm saying is ask me anything and I'll give the answer for you. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, bye.